our self-managed DSE assessment software tool, which is designed to not only tick the box by having a DSE assessment on file, but also provide staff members with e-learning and guidance on how to improve their setup and their posture. This is the dashboard that you would log in, and from here you can send out a multitude of assessments that are available to you. Now, Joe, tell me, are people based in the office or are they in a hybrid capacity?
We've actually got a mixture of people. So some people are based in the office, but we've got some people that come into the office, but they also work from home as well. So I'd really want a system to be able to send out different types of assessments for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So over here on the left-hand side, which I'm trying to highlight over here, we've got, well, hybrid working. So those that fall into the work both at the home and the office, they can have their own designated assessment, which asks questions about their office setup as well as working from home. And then for those that are based solely in the office, you also have access to the office module as well. In addition, do you have any people who do driving for work at all?
Yeah, we do actually. We've got an installer. So yes, that would be useful if we could include the assessment for him under that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got access to a driving for work module, the agile working module, which is the second one down. That's for anyone who's not got a fixed working location, and who might be working in coffee shops or on the road, essentially. If you do have to have anyone who's solely a remote worker, then there's a home working module. We've also got manual handling, which is a visual test or a visual guidance to make sure that you're lifting correctly and not going to cause yourself an injury. We also have a new and expectant mothers module. There's a visual pat testing, which looks at any frayed wires, electrical plugs that you've got at home or whilst you're working. And then the final one is the wellbeing module. Now, this is the only one of the modules here which is anonymous. So you need at least 10 people to complete the assessment, and it's a stress test. So it's a grading score of 1 to 5 about how, and the sort of questions that people get asked are how they feel about their role, management, direction, and if mental wellbeing is something that you champion, then you've got access to send this module out to everyone as well.
Fine. And can I only send one assessment per person for the license fee?
No, you can send them out as many times as you want. So under DSE guidelines, there's a couple of different sort of advice to when you need to send out an assessment. So whether there's an office move, whether someone's returning from work, whether there's a new and expectant mother, or an office move can not only just relate to the office, but can also be home working as well. So if they move home, it's advised that they get another assessment. So you can send out as many assessments as you want over a 12-month period, and you can utilize all the modules for everyone.
Okay, that sounds good. So and actually sounds like a bargain. So presumably if you send out like 4 assessments per person per year, it sort of brings down the cost per person as well. So
absolutely.
Okay.
In terms of how we upload stuff, there's a couple of different ways. If you just had the one new starter, so the bare minimum that we need, so if I'm going to click on people, then people, and then add a new person, we've got first name, last name, and email address. So that's the absolute bare minimum that we need. The email address is then so that the assessment can be sent to their inbox. Now, how many members of staff do you have, Joe?
At the moment, we've got 10 in this company, but I am looking at this solution for larger companies as well.
Okay.
That has got like multiple departments and multiple locations as well.
Hey, so what? And only them abroad at all, international?
No.
Fine. So reason I ask is that we can create different departments over here, and you've also got different locations. Now, if you were to have anybody who worked remotely internationally, we can send out their own assessment that's actually tailored to their country. So if they've got different plugs, sockets than the UK, then all the guidance is actually in their preferred language as well. We've got any other setup on their electrical equipment as well.
Is that automatic, or is that something we have to change per country, or have you got like countries already set up for this?
we've already got, from a language perspective, we've got about 10 languages already put on there. French, Spanish, the Romanian and Welsh as that we've had previous requests in the
Okay.
past. But from sending out the assessment, what you can do is you can categorize individuals by their location or their department, and then we can set it up so that they are just getting what's relevant to themselves.
Okay. Oh, fair. Brilliant.
So that would just be upload the one person. Another way you can upload is if you've got an Excel spreadsheet. And as an example, so all I'm doing here is uploading a simple Excel spreadsheet. And here you can upload the full staff, but you also have options here if you're working off the same staff list. If you've got any new starters, the system's intelligent enough not to duplicate anyone, and it's also you've got the option here to remove some levers as well. Now, in terms of the data, that's then stored. Those who are archived off as levers, that information is stored on the system for a minimum of 5 years to meet with statute limitations. Should you have a grievance, and then you've got evidence that you've sent out an assessment to them.
Okay, fantastic. So is that spreadsheet, is that a template that you provide, or how does that work?
Yes, absolutely it is. And I can send you a copy of that after this meeting. So yeah, you can also include on their work model. So that can be, if you know which individuals or members of staff are your hybrid workers and your office workers, if you label them accordingly, it will then put them into that camp, as it were, on the system.
Okay, and we've got an HR system internally. Do I have to export the data from that HR system into an Excel spreadsheet, or is there any way that we can make the systems link?
Yes, you can. You've jumped ahead of me here, which is good.
Sorry.
That's so good. So yes, if providing your HR system offers what's called an API feed, companies like Workday, HiBob, can basically, the two systems can talk. So normally what happens is once a month, they'll send over a feed to ErgoPro and it'll update the system. Now, what's quite nice is if we go into the setup and then look at one of the modules, what we've got here as an option is an auto send. So what that means is if there's any new starters that get uploaded to the system, you can set it up so they automatically get sent their module to complete. So providing you've got the right work model set up for them, so in this case office or hybrid, then that will already be sent out to them.
Fine. Okay.
So it's a nice way to try and sort of minimize the amount of admin that you need.
Okay, perfect.
Looking at the modules themselves, one thing that we quite like to shout about with ErgoPro is that all modules and all questions are editable. So if I click on the hybrid, if I go on to edit, so we've got here a list of the sort of questions, the questions that will be asked, but everyone here has a bin and a pen icon. So if something's not quite personable to yourselves or not relevant, you can remove it. Or if essentially hot desking is maybe that's on one floor or one location, we can amend that wording so it's relevant to yourselves.
Okay, yeah, perfect. And what does it mean where it says yes, follow up hot desking on those questions?
Great question. So people, as a result of completing the assessment, will fall into 3 categories. Green, they're 100% compliant. What that'll do is it will populate a compliance wheel on your dashboard around down here. Those who have answered the questions and perhaps have been given some advice, like what the hot desking, they fall into the amber category. So they're then sent personalized PDFs, which are all branded to your business, and to give them advice to help improve their setup. So in this case, for hot desking, it's making sure that people take the time to set themselves up when they start the day if they're moving from desk to desk.
Okay, perfect.
The third category is we do find that typically about 5% of businesses have musculoskeletal conditions, or have, if they're working from home, maybe have inadequate space, and then they get flagged up as red and the need for assess. And that will actually appear here under assess. And then what you can do here is click on click on this box here, or this lozenge, and that will open up a report section. So then you can see how many people have affected, and then you can look at the reasons why they've fallen into that category. Before we get to that,
sorry, if that person does need an assessment, is that something that you can handle as well?
Absolutely. So we've got, so depending on what your preference is, we can offer virtual assessments, or we can offer on-site assessments, and that's nationwide.
Perfect, great.
Going back to trying to help make things a bit more automated for yourself. So you've sent the assessment out. What the initial bit that the member of staff will receive comes down from this email template. So the assessment wording is here. Again, it's a text box. So if there's any bits that you want to amend to it, then that's not a problem at all. ErgoPro has the option to use single sign-on. So that means that people won't be forgetting their passwords in a hurry if you do decide to use that. But essentially, their username is their email address, or it can be a 10-character password that they create. If for any reason, whilst they're completing the assessment, which roughly takes about 10 minutes, that they need to log off, take a call, go into a meeting, they don't lose their progress. So they can log back in and they can carry on the assessment. After 7 or 10 days, the system will send out automatic reminders as well, and that will look like this email here, again, to try and take the pressure off you as in facilities or as an office manager, to make sure that people are trying to allow them to be compliant and complete their assessment module.
And does it let me know if reminders have been sent out, or does it let me know if people have had like 1 or 2 reminders and still haven't done it?
Both, in a sense. So going back to the dashboard, there is a reminders column here and a counter here. So when it gets to what the system doesn't want to be doing is sending you lots of emails saying this person hasn't completed their assessment. But when it gets to the 4th week, you as administrator will get an email to say Joe Bloggs hasn't completed their assessment. So then that's an opportunity for you to follow up to see if potentially maybe they're on extended leave, if they're just plain ignoring you, Joe.
Okay, fair enough.
In terms of, so they've completed the assessment. You mentioned about the hot working, and we've looked at the advice that will be given. To going that into a little bit further, if I go into the library, so this is all the advice that's given out to the members of staff based on their answers. Now, if we look specifically on one of the modules, if we look at hybrid working, and if we look at chair height, if I open that up, so then they're given information on how to improve their setup, making sure their arms are at a 90-degree angle, and that their feet are sort of firmly flat on either on the floor or on a footrest. Again,
and do they get sent that as a PDF, or that's something that flashes up while they're taking the assessment?
They get a little bit of advice whilst they're completing the assessment module, but this actually gets sent to them as a PDF to look at.
So they can save it and refer back to it if they want to.
Absolutely. And they can, and also from yourselves, you can amend any wording as well. So if you or images. So if you've got any particular maybe health and safety guidance or videos or images that you've created that you wanted to upload on the system, then that is something that we can amend on here for you as well. So at least it falls within company guidelines.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's all right. Chair height. So they've been sent out, but so what I'm going to do is just show you what it looks like with a completed assessment on the system. I go into people, and then if I go into my one, so I completed an office working assessment, and I'm currently sat on solution sent. So if we click on view, and scroll down, you've got a little bit of information here, which is your audit history. So that is information that's been sent or to myself, either the guidance, and that's already automatically populated. So again, if you were to have a grievance, then you've got evidence that this has been sent out to me.
Okay.
If I
If there was sorry, I might be jumping ahead here, but if somebody had got a serious issue and we'd had to arrange an assessment for them, can we also log that conclusion and what actions have been taken here as well?
Absolutely. So we've got a couple of different ways that we can do it. You've got the notes section here, so that creates up a new text box here to fill up, and that gets saved onto their sort of personnel file. If you have a conducted an assessment and they require any additional equipment, you can asset tag it and log it on the system as well.
Okay, yeah.
So say they've been provided with a new keyboard and a new chair, you can input that information here onto the equipment section. And if you want to put any price on it, any PO number, then you can put that information as well. Should I then leave the business and then you've got that equipment still available, I can go back up to the reporting element and click on equipment allocation, and you can see what's available that might need to then to be sent on to a different individual.
Oh, that's
so it's a
really
good way
clever.
to keep,
yeah,
especially if you've got home workers as well, because it's, if you can't see it, you don't necessarily know you've got it.
And then you lose equipment as well.
Absolutely. So just go back. So this is the assessment. These are the answers that I've given. If I click on the issues, you can see here that I've been sent all of this guidance. Now, if I'd have been a good employee and I've read it, under here it'd have a little Y.
Okay.
So as part of the reminder element, every week as well, I'll get another email to say, can you please read this information? Again, to try and take the time away from you for having to follow this up. If
Okay.
I've read it, it will say yes, it'll give a date. I then get asked the question, does it resolved everything? If I go, yes, it has, then what it will do is it automatically change my status from solution sent to complete.
Okay.
So then that moves me from amber to green, filling up
Yeah.
the compliance wheel.
Yeah.
If for any reason I felt that the information doesn't help and I click no, that'll then change my status from solution sent to assess.
Okay.
And then that gives you the opportunity.
So then I get just a list of people that need assessments. So
correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And one thing that what we can do is that if you did require us then to complete a virtual or face-to-face assessment, if you click the send referral, that then creates a referral form that can be sent into our inbox, and then you can put a little bit more information. We get a synopsis of the reasons why it might be flagged for an assessment, and then you can instruct us to carry that out on your behalf.
Oh, that's brilliant. So I don't even need to go into another system and look up all your details and stuff. It's all within this one.
No, absolutely. And it also gets tagged that you've sent the referral again on the audit history. So again, it's just making sure your bases are covered.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, that looks fantastic. Thank you for going through it with me.
That's all right. Do you have any further questions at all?
Let me just see. The only one is, I'm not the only person who does the administration on this. So how many administrators can I have on the system?
You can have as many as you want.
Okay.
Which is, and the nice thing about that as well, because you mentioned you've got 10 employees currently. So if you wanted to have yourself just looking after the 10, then you can have access rights just to look after those. And then if you had an additional administrator to look after another location, you can set it up on their permissions that they can just look after that region as well. Or if you want everyone to have overseeing access rights, you can do that as well.
Okay. So probably the final question I've got is what do I need to do to actually make it go live?
So in terms, the simplest thing to do is we just need a staff list. And I'd advise that for the modules that you're looking at is just to have a quick read through to make sure that the guidance and the questions are in line with your business. And then and it's really from a click of a button, we can get you live.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for going through it with me all.
Pleasure.